Good morning students. In my first video I have already started my chapter. Now I have to, as I told you, now I am going to tell you the theme of the chapter, the address. See, in our first video we had seen 4 characters are there, clear, and the name of the characters are Mrs. S, daughter of Mrs. S, Mrs. Dorling and daughter of Mrs. Dorling. Now see here, our story begins after the Holocaust when our narrator, a Jewish survivor who had lost her entire family and returned to find mother things at 46 Marconi Street. This is the name also, 46 Marconi Street. As a name you are thinking that this is the name of an address, and our story title is also The Address. This girl, she arrives there, and as she arrives there only our story begins. Our whole story revolves around this address only. Okay. Now, the narrator arrives at 46 Marconi Street, a house owned by a certain Mrs. Dorling. Okay. So, this lady, she arrived there. Now, as she arrived, she had seen this is the house of Mrs. Dorling. She comes out, Mrs. Dorling, and she had seen that one of the girl, she is there on my doorstep. The door is open a mere inch by a woman who seems not to know the narrator and treats her with cool incivility. Clear? This Mrs. Dorling who is opening the door, as she is standing there, then she is talking to the girl who is come. And she is talking in the incivilian manner. Incivilian in the sense, children, like when somebody comes to our house, even we don't know who the person is. What is our duty? We have to ask, okay, who are you? Why you are here? And if the person is telling that I have come, I just want to talk, I just want to see the things. So this is, a kind of a courtesy. We have to call that person in. We have to provide tea or water or whatever. But in very incivilian manner, this Mrs. Dorling, she is there on the door and she is talking to the girl. However, during the course of the interaction, 3 important realizations occur. So, during that time when the girl is talking with Mrs. Dorling, 3 interactions are there, 3 possibilities are there. The first possibility is that she is on the correct address, clear? Second possibility is she is unwelcome. And the third possibility is there is another person in the house. Okay, let me tell you in detail. The narrator realizes that she is at the correct address and Mrs. Dorling wearing her mother's sweater. Okay, this girl, when she reached there, she is thinking, I am definitely at the correct address. And how she comes to know, the lady Mrs. Dorling, she is wearing a sweater. That sweater is narrator's mother's sweater. Okay, we know, like the things, when the things belong to us, definitely we know it. So, this is evident that the sweater has been worn fairly often. Many of the time this lady already wore that sweater, that is why she knows that this is my mother's sweater. The second thing is the narrator knows she is unwelcome as Mrs. Dorling does not even let the narrator come into the house. She is not welcoming, Mrs. Dorling is not welcoming her in. That is why this narrator, she is thinking, I am supposed to be an unwelcome person who is standing here. The narrator goes away disappointed and unsuccessful in collecting her things. She reaches here, she comes here just because she wants to be satisfied that I am on the correct address and my things are there in the house. I have to collect my mother things. But the narrator hears a door open and close within the house behind Mrs. Dorling. The reader knows that there is another person in the house, someone whom Mrs. Dorling is anxious to keep away from the narrator. So, when Mrs. Dorling, she opened the door, a chink she opened, clear? Chink in the sense very small amount of door she had opened. Only in the way narrator can see that Mrs. Dorling and Mrs. Dorling with her one eye, she can see the narrator. But during that time period, somebody inside also. And how narrator comes to know, because from that window only, from that bay window, she can see that somebody is still there hiding somewhere in the curtain. And this Mrs. Dorling, she is thinking that this person who is inside and this person who is outside will not meet together, will not talk together. So the narrator, she walked back to the train station and she recalled how once on returning home from the university during the first half of World War II, she had found several of their household items missing. So during this, after the Second World War, as I am telling you, many of the survivors, those who are come back, clear, they have to find out their item, they had to find out their things where they had before they had given or before they had left. But she had found that most of the things are missed. Her mother had then informed that Mrs. Dorling and all acquaintance of her mother had renewed their contact and insisted that she keep their things safe during the war. So, before going for this concentration camp, Mrs. S and her daughter was very small that time, but Mrs. S, she had given all the thing to one of the person whom she had trusted, clear, and that trustworthy person was Mrs. Dorling. But here we have seen something different only. So, she is thinking that Mrs. Dorling, she will keep all my things in the safe place. The narrator also recalled another incident when she had seen Mrs. Dorling for an instant in the brown coat and shapeless hat before the women left, yet with another installment of the narrator's thing. Clear? So, she had think when second time when she arrived, again she had seen the hat is there, clear, the coat is there, all those things belong to my mother only. The narrator mother, an apparently gullible woman, did not seem to suspect Mrs. Dorling of her ulterior motive. So, Mrs. Dorling, she was this Mrs. A, she was thinking that Mrs. Dorling supposed to be my friend, a close person. So, in this sense we can say she is a gullible, easily trust upon others. But the narrator woman was more was more worried about Mrs. Dorling hurting herself or being attacked by someone while carrying their thing back to Marconi Street for safekeeping. Okay. So, in that Marconi Street, she is keeping all her things under Mrs. Dorling's house. So, she asked her daughter to remember Mrs. Dorling address in the case narrator was the only one who survived in the war. But in the war we had seen what? Mother already dead, only the daughter is surviving. Now, the daughter is back to take her things back. The first unsuccessful visit, the narrator ruminates about why she took so long to return her mother thing. So, this question arose in her mind, clear. When first time she arrived there, the question is there that why she is not returning my own thing, my mother's things. And the war, the loss of her family had settled heavily on narrator's heart. So, this whole hard time she is feeling that I had lost my mother, in that war I had seen number of those type of things, and now she is not returning my thing. She only felt fear and hesitation when she thought about the things kept at Mrs. Dorling's house. So, hesitation was there and fear was there in her mind, in narrator's mind, when she come to know that my things are there along with this Mrs. Dorling. Each of those things carried memory of her life before the war. The pain stopped her from returning of her things sooner. So, when this Mrs. Dorling, she simply denied, clear, that I am not going to return your thing, because her behavior was telling so many things. Afterward, narrator also, she accepted that my things will not be back, and now I don't have to think about those miserable things. Impact of the war on civilian. So, she has been portrayed in several books and movies, including The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank. See, this kind of description which is given by this Marga Menko in our lesson address, same kind of things are given by many of the writers also. The great writer Anne Frank, she too was a victim of this war, and she had written A Diary of a Young Girl. During that concentration camp, she lost her life along with her family. Only father had survived, and that father, he only published the daughter's story. That is the real story which is written by this written by the girl, okay, and the name given as The Diary of a Young Girl. One more book, this is written by Sarah Kay, Titania de Rossene, okay. One more story about this Jew people only, The Boy in the Strip Pajamas by John Boyne. This is also a story of Jew, which simply reflects such kind of situation which is bare by these Jew people in concentration camp. And one movie also there, Schindler's List, clear. Such kind of things when you visit on YouTube or on this Google, you can easily find out. Number of movies are also there, okay. So, the torture of the concentration camp, the loss of the young ones, life left with painful everlasting impact. This is only the result of this concentration camp, the condition of this Jew people in Second World War. The narrator's observation of the light colored bread, familiar view, unthreatened sleep implies the coarse stale food of the camp. So, in camp they were not getting any food to eat, any water to drink. That is the harsh, very harsh situation of this Jew people. The view of the barren land, barbed wire, asleep forever, threatened with pain and death. This is all about Jew people, the death and destruction. Okay, even pictures also I have shown you. After the first failed attempt, the narrator tried to visit Mrs. Dorling once again. Now, first attempt was failed, clear? Mrs. Dorling said that I don't know. So, this lady, this girl, she left the place. Afterwards, again, second time she wanted to visit the place. So, what she had seen, this time the woman was not at home and she was greeted by a 15-year-old daughter. Now, our fourth character, the daughter of Mrs. Dorling, she arrived there. Okay. Mother is not there at the home, so she is again welcoming the girl. The girl showed off the antiques in her house to the narrator, obvious to the fact that they had once belonged to narrator's own home. Okay, so this narrator, when she visited, that time she is entering into the house, and this Mrs. Dorling's daughter, she is showing all the things. So this narrator, she is thinking, yes, this thing belongs to me only. When the narrator find her things had now become a part of someone else's life and memory, she decided not to take the things after all. And afterwards, as she had seen the things are, in a very unsystematic manner, the things are placed. So she is thinking, those things are not mine, why should I take too much interest? She left the things as it is. The memories associated with her things were overwhelming, and there was no space for such fancy item into the small room where she lived now. But now the narrator, she is living in a very small room, and now she is thinking, why I have to think about those fancy items. Fancy item because that time when mother was alive, she knew that how she was eating in that, silver spoons, with the help of silver spoon, silver fork, plate were there, pewter plates were there. In that way I was eating the things. Okay. But now the things are in a very, unsystematic manner, the things are placed. And now this narrator also kept in her mind that these things are not belong to me. This is not at all my property. And one more excuse that she is giving to her own self, that is, why should I take care of the thing when I am living in such a small house, in such a small room. So, everything was now a part of someone else's home and life, creating new memories each day. And each day as the time passes away, because she has lost her mother. Mother is not there, so what should I do with the memory of her, of my mother? The visit was actually unsuccessful in the sense that the narrator was finally able to find the strength to move on and felt that all the memories left behind by the war with her mother, old thing would be the easiest to forget. And finally she forget that address also, she forget that thing also, even memory also. Because mother is not alive, so memory also she want to kill. Now children, this is the conclusion of our lesson, the address. To sum up the address summary, we learn that the intricate emotions of human like trust, hope and betrayal, as well as the ill effects of the war. So at the end of the lesson, like in the beginning of the lesson, we have seen the destruction of the war. But at the end of the lesson, we had seen the destruction of human feeling also. Feeling like trust, hope, all the things are betrayed easily. Clear? So children, this is all together our lesson, very interesting and very nice story. My kind request to all my dear students, you are taking, now you have to take some initiatives. Okay, you just have to read, you just have to underline hard words, because good number of hard words are also given in our lesson. Try to find out the meaning. With the help of this video, I just want to promise you that you can understand the story easily. Okay children, so thank you all of you.